Now we will see Class 12 Sociology, Chapter 8 Social Movement, 8.4 Ecological Moment. For much of the modern period of the greater emphasis has been laid on the development. Over the decades, there has been a great deal of concern about the unchecked use of natural resources and a model of development that creates new needs that further demands greater exploitation of the already depleted natural resources. This model of development has been critiqued for assuming that all the sections of the people will be beneficiary of the development. Thus, big dams displace the people from their homes and sources of livelihood. Industries displace the agriculturists from their homes and livelihood. The impact of industrial pollution is yet another story. Here we take just one example of an ecological movement to examine the many issues that are interlinked in an ecological movement. Activity 8.6. Find out some instance of environmental pollution from your region. Discuss. You can also have a poster exhibition of all your findings. The Chipko movement, an example of the ecological movement in the Himalayan foothills, is a good example of such intermingled interest and ideologies. According to Ramachandra Gubha in his book Unique Woods, villages rallied together to save the oak and the rhododendron forest near the villages. When government forest contractors came to cut down the trees, villages, including the large number of women, stepped forward to hug the trees to prevent their being felled. At stake was the questions of the village's subsistence. All of them relied on the forest to get firewood, fodder, and other daily necessaries. This conflict placed the livelihood needs of the poor villagers against the government's desire to generate the revenues from selling timber. The economic of the subsistence was pitted against the economic of profit. Along with these issues of the social inequality villagers versus the government that represented the commercial capitalist interest. The Chipko movement also raised the issue of the ecological sustainability. Cutting down the natural forest was the home of the environmental destruction that had resulted in the devastating floods and landslides in the region. For the villages, these red and green issues were interlinked. While their survival depended on the survival of the forest, they also valued the forest for its own sake as a form of ecological wealth that benefits all. In addition, the Chipko movement also expressed the resentment of the hill villages against a distant government headquartered in the plains that seemed indifferent and hostile to their concerns. So the concerns about economy, ecology, and political representation underlay the Chipko movement. Here in this figure, they give Chipko activities gathered together on the World Environmental Day at Saklana in 1986, discussing the deforestation, Jungada, Himachal Pradesh. Box 8.5 Chipko Moment. The unusually heavy monsoon of 1970 precipitated the most devastating flood in the living memory. In the Alakanda Valley, water inundated 100 square kilometers of land, washed away 6 metal bridges and 10 kilometers of motor roads, 24 buses and several other vehicles. 366 houses collapsed and 500 acres of standing paddy crops were destroyed. The loss of human and moving life was considerable. The 1970 floods marked the turning point in the ecological history of the region. Villages who bore the brunt of the damage were beginning to perceive the hitherto-tenderness link between the deforestation and landslides and floods. It was observed that some of the villages most affected by the landslides lay directly below the forest, where filling operations had taken place. The village's cause was taken up by the Daswali Gram Swaraj Sangh DGSS, a cooperative organization based in Champoli district. Despite these early protesters, the government went ahead with the yearly action of forest in November. One of them plots scheduled to be assigned with the rainy forest. The contractors men who were travelling to the rainy when the Joshimath stopped the bus shortly before the rainy, skirting the village, they made for the forest. A small girl who spilled the workers with their implements rushed to the Gaura Devi, the head of the village's Mahali Mandal Women's Club. Gaura Devi quickly mobilized the other housewives and went to the forest, pleading with the laborers not to stop filling operations. The women initially met with the abuse and threats. When the women refused to budge, the men were eventually forced to retire. Exercise for box 8.5. Is this social movement raising old issues of class-based inequality and resource distribution, or is it raising other concerns such as ecological sustainability and cultural rights of the people? Box 8.6. In our current information age, social movements around the globe are able to join together in huge regional and international networks comprising the non-governmental organizations, religious and humanitarian groups, human rights association, consumer protection advocates, environmental activities, and others who campaign in the public interest. The enormous protest against the World Trade Organization that took place in Saddle, for example, were organized in part through the internet-based network. Exercise for box 8.6. Read the text given below and discuss how even social movements get globalized. How does the technology help? How does it change the role social movements can play? Thank you. Sharing is caring. Comment your thoughts. Subscribe for more